Moving to a new neighborhood can be both exciting and overwhelming, especially when you're trying to find the right place to call home. Chances are, if you are watching this video, you are considering a move here to Victoria, and trust me, I really do get how tricky it can be to figure out which neighborhood you want to be in. I was born and raised in Victoria. I lived here until I was 19. I then left for a couple of years before coming back to Victoria. And even though I was born and raised here, it was still tricky to figure out exactly what neighborhood I wanted to end up in, because each neighborhood offers different things. And if you don't know the area super well, how are you supposed to make that decision at a distance? Well, that is where I come in. My channel is totally geared towards people just like you. I'm trying to help you make as many informed decisions you can about the areas you may want to live in, along with real estate market updates here in Victoria. The really great thing about Victoria is there aren't really any terrible neighborhoods. We are pretty lucky here on the island that we have a lot of great neighborhoods, and they all offer different things. So it's just kind of more a process of elimination, looking at your budget, looking at your must-have and would like to have list, and then kind of narrowing things down from there. I am Ainsley Gower. I am a local real estate agent here. If you would like to hop on a call with me, if you're considering making the move out here and looking to buy or sell in the Victoria area, I would love to hear from you. I would love to help you, and you can get in touch with me via my contact information, which you'll find listed below. So today we're going to unravel different neighborhood dilemmas faced by newcomers. These are some different situations that I've had come up over the years with different clients looking to move here, some of the things they've been looking for, and what areas I recommended to them. I think having the information laid out this way could be really valuable for you guys, so please drop a comment below if you're enjoying this content. Also drop a comment below if you want to give me a certain neighborhood dilemma that one might be faced with, and I'm happy to maybe consider doing a video about that. Without further ado, welcome to Navigating Victoria Neighborhood Dilemmas for Newcomers. Neighborhood dilemma number one is for a retired couple, John and Susan. So there's this retired couple, John and Susan, and they are looking to relocate here to Victoria to enjoy their retirement years. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? There's a lot of retirees that are looking to move to Victoria. John and Susan have saved for this moment, and they're eager to find the perfect neighborhood here in Victoria. Here are their specific concerns. John and Susan are looking for a peaceful and tranquil neighborhood where they can relax and enjoy their retirement without the noise and the hustle of the city. As retirees, they want easy access to healthcare facilities. They love spending time outdoors. They want to be close to quality medical care. While they do have savings for retirement, they still want to be mindful of their budget and ensure that they're making financially wise decisions for the long term. And social engagement is really important to them. I would wholeheartedly agree with this. I think that social engagement is something that we're really lacking a lot of these days, especially with many people working from home. And anyways, I won't go into a tangent about the loneliness epidemic, but I'm really glad that social engagement is a top priority for them. So here is a list of their must-haves and would like to haves. Their must-haves is that it needs to be a condo for less than $1 million. They still want to do a little bit of traveling, and they want the security of just being able to lock up their property and leave and not have to worry about anything. Plus, they want easy access with an elevator and all one level living, so they can age in place. They must have a minimum of 2 bedrooms with over 1,000 square feet. Must have in-suite laundry, must allow small dogs, must have 1 parking stall, and must be in a fairly quiet area but with good walkability near parks and walking trails. They told me it doesn't have to be a 100% quiet area. They kind of just don't want to be like right downtown or right on a busy road. They still want to be close to these amenities, but they don't want to be right in the middle of the hustle and bustle of the city. So then their list of would like to have is a condo that has an updated kitchen. I get that. Social engagement opportunities, a sense of community, and perhaps senior-friendly activities readily available. John and Susan's dilemma really revolves around balancing their desire for a peaceful environment while maintaining access to healthcare, outdoor activities, budget considerations, and opportunities for social interactions. So they need to find a neighborhood that caters to their retirement lifestyle and future needs. Here are the neighborhoods that I recommended for John and Susan: Oak Bay, Fairfield, Sydney, and Humboldt Valley. Oak Bay is a quiet and safe neighborhood that meets all of John and Susan's criteria. It has a ton of services from dentist to physio to optometrist, pharmacy, post office. The list goes on. Then for activities, there's Monterey's Seniors and Community Center, Oak Bay Rec Center, Victoria Golf Club, if you're into that. In Oak Bay, you have incredible walkability. There's trails around the place. You've got easy access to the beach, which is about a 10-minute walk from the village. There's nice sidewalks. It's very pedestrian friendly in Oak Bay, which is something that you don't see in every other neighborhood. That is part of why Oak Bay's property taxes are a little bit higher than other neighborhoods. They just do a little bit more in Oak Bay than some of the other areas do. With John and Susan's budget of $1 million for a 2+ bedroom condo with at least 1,000 square feet, in-suite laundry, parking, dog friendly, there are a number of options for them in Oak Bay, especially if they're open to an older building like a 70s or 80s building. There's lots of those, but you can find updated units, and with their budget of $1 million, they should definitely be able to find something in that kind of $850 to $950K range. That's in a great walkable area. One thing I will note about a lot of older buildings in Victoria, especially in Oak Bay and Fairfield, a lot of these condo buildings have size restrictions on dogs. So if you have a big dog and you want to buy into an older wood frame building in some of these more premium neighborhoods, that could definitely be a bit of an issue. But there are other options. Newer condo buildings tend to be a bit more relaxed on the dog side of things. Steel and concrete buildings downtown tend to be way more relaxed on that side of things. Typically, it's just one dog or one cat. Definitely exceptions to that, but there don't tend to be those size restrictions. I always think it's a little bit funny how they have no big dogs allowed, because sometimes I find the little dogs are way yippier than the bigger dogs. But I do get that when the big dogs do bark, it can be quite a bit louder, so your neighbors probably don't like that. I'll also add that if John and Susan were open to a unit that didn't have in-suite laundry, that would definitely open up some extra options for them. But I do find most people, especially retirees, in-suite laundry is a must. I know it would be 100% for me. Okay, moving on to other suggestions for them. West Fairfield would be another good area for John and Susan to consider. There's a lot of condo buildings in and around Cook Street Village, which would give them that great walkability to amenities again. They've got walkability down to Dallas Road, into Beacon Hill Park, so there are trails and things nearby. You've got Fairfield Plaza, which has a grocery store and things, so it's probably not the same level of amenities as you'd find in Oak Bay, but Fairfield is really lovely and has some great options as well. What you're going to find in West Fairfield for condo buildings is a lot of older wood frame low-rise condo buildings. Most of these were built prior to 2000, so you're not going to find many. There's a handful of newer condo buildings around Cook Street Village, but really they're all pre-2000s, which is great actually, because you get more square footage in a lot of these older buildings, and the price point is a little bit better. There's more affordable options for John and Susan in the Fairfield neighborhood compared to Oak Bay. Fairfield is just slightly more affordable, and there tend to be actually a number of these 2+ bedroom condos with over 1,000 square feet, in-suite laundry, parking, etc., that would probably fit most of their criteria for just over $600,000. But then they may decide they want a southern exposure unit or a top floor unit, because if you're in an older wood frame building, at least on the top floor, you don't have somebody above you, so you're not listening to footsteps so much as you would in like a steel and concrete building. You wouldn't hear as much in steel and concrete, but you are paying more of a premium typically to get into steel and concrete. Sydney is a little bit further afield, but I think it's another great option for them to consider. It's out closer to the airport and in that North Saanich area near the ferries, etc. They've got a pretty decent size village neighborhood hub in Sydney. It's a seaside community, and their money will definitely go further out there. They could get a much nicer condo than they'd be able to get in Oak Bay or Fairfield, and still have the amenities, in-suite laundry, all the things that they're looking for, but they may even be able to get a 3-bedroom condo for around $800,000 or $850,000. There aren't many 3-bedroom condos, but when I was doing the research for this video, there is one that actually just sold. Really nice unit for about $800,000 in Sydney. There's lots of great restaurants in Sydney. There's great coffee shops. There's home decor stores. There's a Safeway. There's a Thrifties. You kind of have everything you need in Sydney without really having to leave. Some people feel like Sydney is a little bit too removed from Victoria for them, because to get to downtown Victoria from Sydney, you're probably looking at about 35 to 40 minutes. Another neighborhood I told John and Susan about is called Humboldt Valley. A lot of people have never heard of this little micro neighborhood that sits on the south end of downtown, pretty close to West Fairfield. And it's a very small section of condo buildings, but it's a really nice part of town, very close to St. Anne's Academy and next to the Crystal Gardens and the Empress. So the very quieter side of downtown. The nice part about Humboldt Valley is there's a number of newer steel and concrete buildings compared to when they're looking predominantly in Oak Bay and Fairfield at their price point. It's going to be mostly wood frame buildings. So in steel and concrete, they're going to get that extra noise insulation. Typically, steel and concrete can hold its value a little bit better over the longer term than wood frame. But again, like I mentioned before, it costs you a little bit more to get in, and some people's budgets just don't allow for that. A couple of the buildings that I like in Humboldt Valley are the Belvedere and the Aria and Astoria. I actually just helped some clients purchase a unit in the Aria. It's a really beautiful building. It has about 172 units. There's a north tower and a south tower. The thing that I really like about the Aria as an option for John and Susan is that there's a really solid sense of community in this building. They have really great amenities in the building, like a fitness center and a lounge library. And I pulled up the owner's manual for the Aria this morning, and it says that they have new resident events and Aria social clubs like cards on Monday night, ping pong on Tuesday night, exercise classes on Monday and Wednesday mornings, and the list went on. Basically every day of the week they had something going on in that building. Plus there's a concierge in the building, which gives that building a bit more of an upscale feeling. There's someone to let you in, take care of your packages. It feels a little bougie. It's nice. There are some really lovely condos in this building with over 1,000 square feet for less than $1 million. I really like the building. The strata feels super proactive. They've got a good contingency. Well, as of right now anyways, it was very healthy. And when you're looking to buy into a strata and protect your investment long term, there's a little bit of extra built-in security when you're buying into a bigger building. This one has 172 units, which is on the larger side. And I know some people do prefer to be in a smaller boutique building. However, if you're in a larger building and you need to raise $1 million really quickly for some sort of special levy, it's really easy to raise $1 million between 172 units, and it's not that costly for each of the owners, versus if for some reason in a smaller building you had to quickly raise $1 million to go towards a painting project or a new roof or something like that. I don't think painting would cost $1 million, but you know where I'm going with this. There's just a little bit more security in bigger buildings. And I think that might help give John and Susan that extra peace of mind in their retirement years that they're maybe looking for.